Well, hello, I'm Jennifer Herron, and welcome to Studio 23 Nashville. In case you can't tell, we're all about music. See the music hanging on the wall? We're going to have fun with music, visit with the musicians, the singers, the songwriters, and get the inside scoop for you. And we'll also sing and have a little fun because I have musician extraordinaire here co-hosting with me, Bryan Cumming.
This is our first show.
Yeah,
We're
it
excited
is.
about this.
Yeah, it's going to be a big time.
And we get to play some with each guest every week. We're just getting this started, and we're going to have a lot of fun. So let's see. Our first guest is somebody that you know rather well, I believe.
Maybe a tad bit. For 20 some odd years, let's say. He is my husband. So Bobby Marquez is coming up on this show, so stick with us.
Welcome to Studio 23 Nashville with your hosts Jennifer Herron and Bryan Cumming. Today's special guest is Bobby Marquez.
Well, this is Studio 23 Nashville, and as promised, yes, we have some great music to talk about with musician Bobby Marquez. Now, you can tell by the hat, the shirt, and everything, that is pure Texas right there. Born, raised in Texas, right?
Absolutely, yes.
Big
Born and raised.
singer-songwriter there. We originally met when I was a DJ in radio in San Antonio, and you were playing, opening a lot of big shows for big stars.
Yeah, I got to open up for a lot of people down there, Neil McCoy, Clay Walker, a bunch of them, and it just led to a lot of big things, in the future,
The 90s.
Yeah, the 90s, big 90s.
I had heard a story that it was some kind of instrument in a trash can that got you hooked on music. Is that right?
That's a true story. I have a cousin of mine that when we were younger, I used to go over to his house all the time, and we played little figurines, Star Wars and G.I. Joe and all that kind of stuff. And he had this guitar that he had bought. It was a little Marquez guitar, which I still have to this day. I still got it. I still got it. And anyway, he couldn't play it. He got frustrated, and he threw it away, threw the trash can. And I said, his name was Mark, and I said, Mark, why are you throwing it away? He said, because I can't play, I can't do anything. I said, well, gosh, it's brand new. I said, do you mind if I keep it and take it home? He says, do whatever you want with it. So I ended up grabbing it out of the trash can, took it home, and a friend of mine had given me a little chord book, and I just started learning how to play the chords, But I at that point, I always thought that you had three chords to play country songs. I was trying to play every song on the radio with three chords.
What's the saying, Bryan?
Three chords say the truth. Yeah, that's enough. You must have learned the right ones because you do it well. That's great.
So when was the first time that you stepped on stage after that? When you made that break?
It was more probably right when I went to college. I went to University of Texas, San Antonio, and about that time was when I got a band together and we started rehearsing and doing things. And by the time I got in with some promoters and started playing some bigger shows. We started playing 5,000, 10,000 people in a crowd, and it just started kind of rolling from there. But boy, I tell you what, when you start out. And I didn't start off and playing in some of these smaller little clubs. It was at that time I was playing in front of 5,000, 10,000 people. So I actually didn't have a chance to really go and play some of the smaller clubs, and so I had to learn how to react with a crowd and get a crowd and how to entertain them and everything. And that was tough. That was tough because you got a lot of people and you got eyes on you and everything. And I had to learn real fast.
Going.
I had to learn real fast.
Was that because you were opening for somebody and the agent had gotten you the job?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's even tougher.
Yeah, it was even tougher,
else,
and I better do a good job or else they won't hire me again.
Yeah. Oh, man.
I hear these stories all the time, and musicians will say, oh, and then I met this person, and I met this person. They make it sound so easy.
Yeah.
But I do know a story on Bobby Marquez. There was a popular journalist down in South Texas named Wiley Alexander, and he wrote for the gossip magazine, The Star. But he did all the country music articles. And there was almost an attempted kidnapping. Is that what that was? When y'all shoved the poor guy in a car and forced him to listen to your cassette?
That's probably more to the truth than it was.
But it got him an article in the newspaper.
It did. It got me an article. Hey, when they say, to go out there and try to make connections, I did for sure.
That's scary.
He kidnapped Wiley Anderson?
Yeah, he tells Wiley, get in the car. And Wiley's like, okay. And so him and his lead guitar player stick a cassette in.
Stick a cassette in and made the guy listen to it. And he did.
That
and
can
he-
backfire.
Hey,
if it-
and he listened to it and he loved it. And by the time he
goodness.
knew it,
Yeah.
I mean, you can ask her. It was like every weekend I was in the paper. Every weekend I was performing. He would always mention it and say nice things about me. And that kind of got my name out there
He may have
because
been
nobody
scared.
knew who I was. I mean, nobody knew who I was. I mean, if I was playing a big show, opening up for Clay Walker or somebody, everybody's like, well, who's that guy? I don't know who he is.
But Wiley would write
yeah,
about
but
it.
once he started writing about me and stuff like that, people were like, "Oh, that's that guy, yeah," in the paper, and then people started to kind of know who I was, and yeah, so thanks to him, he opened up a lot of doors, yeah.
Well, here at Studio 23 Nashville, we love to get the stories behind the songs and talk about the music. But to hear the music, that's the key. And when we have an award-winning musician like Bryan Cumming, and of course a great musician like Bobby Marquez, what better way than to put the two of them together and let them really go after it?
Is that kind of a romantic song about getting close where you can whisper to someone?
Yeah, it's one of those simple songs of saying I love you. It's a song written by the great Jim Lauderdale. He's one of Nashville's greatest songwriters to ever write a country song, and the story goes back to my wife was backstage at the Opry one night, and she got to hear him sing this song, and the crowd went crazy. And she had loved it. And she said, Bobby, I was looking for some songs for the album, and she said, you got to listen to this song because I think you should record it. I think it might fit your voice. And I said, all right. And so I went and I listened to it, and when I heard it, I could hear me singing it, and I loved the song from then on. And then to come to know that Jim had said that it was his dad's favorite song, before he had passed away.
Wow.
And it just seems, it's a great song. Like I said, it's just a simple way to say I love you. And it just relates to people, and they just seem to love it when I play it live.
Yeah.
And so I ended up putting it on my latest album, and it's been doing great.
That is
Fantastic.
great, Bobby. Well, let's play it.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right.
1, 2, 3, 4. I see you over there, smiling at the way I stare. I make a wish that you would be near enough to hear me when I whisper. Well, I would think I love you. Whisper, I think I love you too. If I had a chance or two, well, I'd make sure that you knew what's running through this heart of mine, in case you care to know. And so I'll whisper. Well, I would think I love you. Whisper, I think I love you too. Oh, I just want to tell you, well, I wish that you were mine. I'd love you so sweetly, be yours completely, well, all the time. Maybe in our autumn days, when my hair has turned to gray, I will take you by the hand and pull you close to me, and then I'll whisper.
Well, Bobby, it sounds like you were really full speed ahead getting the band together and all this stuff, but you were going to college. I'm just curious, did you know that you were heading into full-time music, or was college like a training for some other direction?
You know, I was a baseball player when I was in high school. That was what I really, really wanted to do. I wanted to be a professional baseball player, and of course that didn't work out. And music was always my second love. It was always my second love, and at that point, you know, when I knew that the baseball thing wasn't going to work out, you know, I started pushing my music a whole lot more, and people were like, "Hey, you need to sing more. You sound really good," you know. And that's when I started putting everything together with a band and everything, and you know, kind of getting out there and started doing my thing, you know.
So college wasn't really.
All my friends were encouraging me, family was encouraging me, and that's how I got, you know, the confidence in myself to go out there.
What we want to know is what your grades were like. That's what Brian's getting at. Yeah, how were the studies?
I'll be honest, I wasn't an A+ student. I was a B+ student. So there you go.
Was there anything in college that added to your musical, you know?
Yeah. I took a lot of music courses and stuff, you know, over there, you know, especially piano and a bunch of other stuff, you know, which I play today. I still play a little piano. But I took more choir and voice and stuff like that, you know, which helped me a lot, you know, now, you know. So, yeah, I did, yeah.
And who were some of your favorite singers growing up?
Ooh, my favorite singers growing up, I mean, my number one singer is Ray Price.
Yeah.
I mean, what a singer. I mean, you can't, I mean, he's the Frank Sinatra of country music, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, there's just nobody with a better voice than that, you know? I mean, people say George Jones and people say Gene Watson, and they're great singers too, but when you see a guy up there who's just going and barely moving his mouth and these big old notes are coming out, and you go, my goodness.
That's
you
right.
know, it's just amazing. You know?
Holding him for a lifetime.
I mean, there's not very many people that can do that, you know?
When was the point when you thought, I want to be like a Ray Price or somebody, and you packed your bags to go to Nashville?
that was in November of '98. I had finally, you know, I'd finally just made the decision at that point to pack all my things, and of course she over here had a little push too, you know, and say, Bobby, you need to go to Nashville.
Well, there's a whole story. I mean, the part-time job fell through, right?
Yep.
The band broke up in San Antonio.
Yeah,
so, what better option? Nashville.
Yeah. I mean, everything was falling through, and it was just kind of like, hey, here's your time. Go do it now. And I'll never forget. I got up that next morning. I packed up all my stuff of what I had, threw it in my car. I got about as far as Jackson, Tennessee until I broke down. So I had to call a friend of mine, which I roommated at UTSA in San Antonio. I roommated with him, and I had to call him, and he had to come and you know, jump start me and everything until I got my car to Nashville, you know. And boy, that was scary. That was scary because I didn't know anybody. I mean, I only knew 2 people in Nashville. That was it. I didn't know anybody else, you know. Talk about taking a jump, you know.
It sounds like you left in a hurry.
Yeah. I mean, I did, and the only thing is I had only been in my hometown, which was Freer, Texas, where I grew up, and the only other town that I went to college was San Antonio. Other than that, I'd never been outside of Texas.
Wow.
I mean, I never had, you know.
Yeah.
And so when I moved, when I took a drive to go over there, it was the scariest thing in the world, you know.
Did you feel welcome here? Did it feel like a perfect fit when you first came because of all the music and the atmosphere?
You know, I kind of did at first. When I first moved over here, I moved on the bad side of town, which was not a good area. And I thought when I got over here, I go, oh my goodness, this is Nashville. I don't want to be here. I mean, you know, everybody's like, oh no, Nashville's really not this way. You're just living on the bad side of town, you know. And so that was kind of my first impression of Nashville. And I was kind of like, gosh, if it's like this, I don't want to be here, you know. But as time went on, you know, I ended up moving out and moving somewhere else and got to see more of Nashville. And I was like, oh, wow, this is Nashville, you know. And then I fell in love with it. You know?
And what about the music community? Where was that? How did you enter the music community, I guess, here and kind of network or connect with some people?
Well, the first person that I connected with was a cousin of mine that worked at CSAC. I got together with him, and he started managing my career. And at that point, you know, he got me into a lot of songwriters rounds, you know, performing for a lot of people in the business and stuff. And then one night I played at the Bluebird Cafe, and a guy from Arista Records was there that night and really liked me and ended up signing me to a demo deal that we ended up doing some songs together. So that was probably the first major thing that happened in my music at that point, and I was like, wow, this is cool, this is easy. I'm like, wow, I already have a record deal, and I've only been here for not even a year or so, and I'm like, wow, this is easy. But then I learned that wow, it's really not, and I really wish, because I was a whole lot younger at that point, I really wish I would have knew the business side of things a whole lot better than I do now, and that's the only thing. And I always try to tell like a lot of the younger country singers, that learn the business side of things, because if I really wish that I did, things probably would have turned a little more differently and with my music,
I would think that's hard for you guys, because music seems like such a passion from inside and just a love, and then when it comes down to business, that's a whole nother arena. It kind of takes the fun out of it, I would think.
Well, and Nashville is a songwriting business town
Yeah.
too. It was built on like Hank Williams' great songs getting published, and then people recording them, and all this money coming in besides the performance. And I'm just curious if you were writing younger, when you were playing to all those people, were you doing songs that you had written?
Yeah, I was writing a lot at that point. I was probably writing more back then than I am now.
And you knew 3 chords.
And I knew 3 chords.
Oh my
That's a
God.
great way to start.
That's all I
I'll
needed
tell
to
you.
know.
And the story continues. We've got more coming up on Studio 23 Nashville.
Hickman County, Tennessee. It feels a lot like home, or how home should feel. Come by, sit a spell. Soak in the goodness that inspired Minnie Pearl to write about this special place. Visit Hickman County, Tennessee's hidden treasure.
It was a top 10 record for me, and it did help pay for the new bus.
All right.
What, you ready? You gonna play?
Yes, sir.
1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Oh, now wait a minute. The other reason why
Yeah.
this song is important is because something of you probably don't know. Do you know this? 65% of all of the country music records sold on the earth are sold out of Texas. It's true.
65%.
65%.
Whoa.
Yeah. So you want to be a hit in Texas. And the reason why, and you got to cut music that they can dance to down there.
And this is one of them.
This is why you can dance, not dance, Jennifer. You can dance to it.
Dance to it.
Buy you a long neck if you dance with me, kind of dancing music. So that's why it's a dancing song.
I'm ready for you.
1, 2, 3, 4, 1. My trembling hand reaches for the phone.
Bobby, can you tell me a little bit about this song, about life?
Yeah, I first moved into town back in '98. I moved to Nashville, and the first thing that when I came to town was trying to write as much songs as I could, and I had this idea when I was working at Vanderbilt University. I used to work at the bookstore at Vanderbilt University, and I was walking through the library, and I saw this book, and it said "That's Life." So I kept thinking about it, and every time I kept thinking about my childhood and everything growing up, all of a sudden I started thinking of my grandmother, because I was really, really close to my grandmother growing up. And I started thinking about her, and I would start to cry. And I said, gosh, I've got to write this song, because I think there's some emotion there. And I also wanted to write something for my grandmother.
Yeah.
And it ended up that I ended up with a songwriter named Karen Staley. She was the first hit songwriter that I wrote with when I moved to Nashville. And she was so willing to meet with me and write with me.
Yeah.
And so we just started writing the song, and it took me a long time to actually get through the song, because every time I would perform it, I would start crying, thinking about my grandmother growing up in this small little town. And so, so we just took it from there, and man, it's been a great song for me. It's been a really, really great song.
That is very cool. Well, I've got a question for you.
Yeah.
Did you ever pick up the book called That's Life?
I did not.
You have no
I
idea
did
what
not.
it was really
I
about?
have no idea. I don't even think I remember the author.
Yeah.
I just saw the title of the song, and I said, "Man, that's got to be a song."
That
right
was
there,
all you needed.
That was all I needed.
I'll take it from here.
That's
Yeah.
it. That's it.
Well, let's do That's Life.
Yeah,
All right,
sure.
Bobby.
1, 2, 3. work to chase our dreams. The golden rule, value lasting things, that's a life. Yeah, son, that's life. Some you win, some you lose. Some you're born with, some you choose. You gotta play the hand you're dealt. Believe in God and yourself. I've seen a lot of change through the years. Love and loss, happiness and tears. That's a life. Yeah, you know that's a life. But for every hard lesson learned, I got 20 blessings in return. That's a life. Well, thank God that's life. It's a circle that goes on and on. The darkest hours are before the dawn. A roller coaster of ups and downs. No matter what, the world still spins round. Grandma died last Friday night. Sunday we went to church and said goodbye. That's life. Well, I guess that's life. Tuesday's sister had a baby boy. The family gathered round to share her joy. That's a life. Well, oh yeah, that's life. Oh, that's a life. Well, that's real life.
Real life. Thank you, Bobby. So you can get through that song without crying now.
Oh, you know, every now and then it still hits me. Every now and then, you know, when
Yeah.
I'm playing live and I'll do that song, get a lot of requests for it, and we even had some requests to even do that at some funerals as well too. You know, and it's just a great song. It's a song about life, and you know, everybody can relate to it. And
How
you know,
close to your grandmother's funeral or death was the song actually written?
you know, it was written 10 years after. It was written 10
Yeah.
years after she passed away. Actually,
But you could capture the feeling of it just happening
yeah,
last Friday.
yeah, because I just kind of visualized everything in my head. I could see it all. I could
Yeah.
just picture everything.
Yeah.
Because when growing up, you know, I was just really, really close to my grandmother, and I could just see her sitting on the couch, you know,
Yeah.
reading her books and Bible and everything. And I used to come up there and I used to pull her pant leg, you know, and she used to give me candy and all kinds of stuff, you know. And I
she-
remember that all when I was a kid. You know?
Did she encourage you singing?
She did. Yeah, she did. Yeah, she did. I mean, I didn't really start singing until I was probably about 13 years old.
Yeah.
But around like 8 years old, my brothers and sisters used to dress me up as Elvis,
Oh.
and they used to make this curtain, you know, and I would come out and I would dance around like I was Elvis, and
He inspired a lot of
you know,
people.
you know. And my grandmother, she would always tell me, "You're good, you're good. You need to keep going and do it," you know. So it kind of started that way, you know, and
That's
eventually
great.
it kind of led it up to what I'm doing now, you know.
Yeah, that's great.
Do you want to win friends and influence people? Don't buy a book. Advertise on Studio 23 Nashville. It's easy. Just contact us at studio23nashville@gmail.com.
Well, Bobby, we have heard a little bit about the 90s and the days of coming to Nashville and doing kind of a traditional country career, but we have seen a lot of changes in the business. And there's, Napster has upset all of the normal business models, and we've seen a lot. And, but you can still play gigs. Tell us a little bit about what it looks like now.
And that was the one thing we were talking about earlier off camera, is that the business has changed, than what it used to be.
Yeah.
Like I said, I used to do a lot of songwriters rounds, and used to have record labels, booking agents always used to come out and look for new talent. And now, like you said, you've got all the internet, you've got everything to where, sometimes some artists don't even need a big label. You know, as long as you have a following and people are following you, man, you can do wonders. And that's what I'm doing. I kind of took my music into another realm, and I'm doing a lot more Western swing. I'll stick Western swing in there. I'll do waltzes. I just kind of mix it up with honky-tonk music, because I love the honky-tonk sound. And that's what I did on my last album, and it opened up a lot of doors, especially in Europe. We had a lot of great success in Europe, and it was up for Album of the Year in Europe, which was amazing, And of course, Texas, Texas always welcomes me with open arms, and so that's always been a good thing too.
You've also had a good response in Australia.
I did. I've got to perform in Australia, which was that was a little scary because I didn't take my band with me. Yeah. They had a band down there for me that already had learned my music, but I had to fly down there by myself. She didn't go with me. I had to fly down there by myself, and so I'm like, wow, I'm here by myself on a plane for 24 hours, But gosh, Australia was awesome. I got to meet a lot of fans on there.
Yeah, and you said one of the neatest things I think you told me about that trip was that there were fans from Japan that had come over, and they didn't speak any English, but they were singing along with your music.
It was amazing because all the Japanese were coming in because the tsunamis were happening at that time.
Oh, yeah.
So all the Japanese were coming to Australia, and it was probably, and I'll be honest, but it was probably one of the biggest lines I had for my merchandise anywhere that I've ever played. I had gotten off the stage, and the line was so far back that by the time I got off, they were buying my merchandise and everything. It was gone within an hour, and I didn't even bring enough merchandise to sell, and I still had to play another night, and it was all gone. But the Japanese people too, and the Australian people, they love traditional country music. It's like the way it was back in the 50s and 60s. The world has just spinned around. It's just like it's backwards,
That's true in Europe too, isn't it? They really like an older, more earthy or authentic country music.
Oh, absolutely. Like me and Jennifer, we went to Bondi Beach in Australia. She went with me one time. We went on vacation. Yeah. This was before I got to go back, and this one guy, he was a lifeguard, and Jennifer had asked him, where are you from and everything, and he was like, where are you guys from? And we were all from Nashville and everything, and Jennifer said, oh, well, who's your, he said he liked country music and everything. Jennifer said, well, who's your favorite artist? You won't guess who he said. He said Jeannie Pruitt.
Yeah. So they like the older.
They like the older stars.
But he was a young guy, only 20.
But he was a young guy, only 20 years old.
A 20-year-old Australian that like that is. And I guess YouTube makes it available.
Yeah, it was amazing. Yeah,
right.
Oh, yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah,
that is fascinating. So you are still playing a lot of shows.
I still am. I'm still touring a lot. I've been touring, Texas, West Virginia. I got to be a member of the West Virginia Wheeling Jamboree.
Right.
So I go up there and do that a lot. Colorado, Oklahoma. Guys, I've just been doing it all, traveling here and there,
And your songwriting seems to have grown some legs too again. Now, you've had some songs recorded by artists.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then a lot of times not made albums.
Right.
But there's a special song right now that kind of took off for you, right?
Yeah, there is a very special song, and it was a song that I had written for Jennifer's father, who recently passed of pancreatic cancer. And Jennifer had told me, she said, she had asked me, she said, Bobby, she goes, I think it would be really, really great if you wrote a song about my dad. And so I was thinking about things, and I was driving home one day, and this title came in my head, and I had this idea for the song. So I took it to Jennifer, and she said, oh my gosh, that'd be a great song. And so she started helping me songwrite. and she's a good songwriter too.
Okay. So I'm not really a songwriter, but my dad had slangs and sayings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he was one of those cowboys, and he'd sit there and say, right is right, wrong is wrong. Or there's no such word as can't. That was one of his favorite sayings. So he was able to put that into song.
Yeah. So I kind of took a lot of the stuff that he had said and that Jennifer had told me about her dad, and I tried to put it in a song. And boy, I tell you what, it's been taken off, and gosh,
What is that called?
It's called the Cowboy Way.
Oh,
It's called the Cowboy Way.
great.
Her dad was a cowboy, through and through, And like I said, it's just about being a cowboy, and it's really a touching song because it's touching. I just didn't know how strong that song was until I started performing live. And the first time I played a show in Texas, and I got a standing ovation for it, and he got to see it. That was what was really, really cool. He got to see that standing ovation. And that's when I knew right then and there, and he knew it too. He's like, "You got something here,
Oh, that is.
And that's when I decided to take it up a notch, and we just got through recording it. Rex Allen Jr. produced it,
Okay.
and so so it's doing really, really good, and I'm excited about
Cowboy Way.
it. Yeah, the Cowboy Way. Yeah,
Yeah, that definitely could go places.
yeah. So I'm excited about it.
Now, we've been talking about singing, songwriting. You act a little bit too, right?
I'll say a little bit because I had a few little breaks here and there. I had actually, and it was because of Jennifer on this one, and her agent needed some extras to go out on this one movie that Ashley Judd and Ray Liotta were doing. And I didn't want to go. She said, "Bobby," she said, "they need somebody to go." And I said, "Oh, I don't want to go, And I was just kind of being mean at that point. I don't want to go. I don't want to do this, that. She goes, "Oh, no." She said, "They'll pay you. They'll feed you and everything." I was like, "I don't want to go. I don't want to do it."
The key to musician's
I'm
heart.
like, "I don't want to do it. I'm not an actor. Don't want to do it." But she kept pushing me to go, so I ended up going that night. And she was going to be an extra too. But did they tell you to go home?
No, I shot a small scene.
You shot a
and
small
went
scene.
home.
You did. That's
Yeah,
right. You shot
yeah.
a small scene. And I stayed there all night, almost till 12 midnight, and they weren't doing anything with me at that point. Until finally, I had a director come up and he pointed at me. He goes, "Come here," And I was like, "What?" He goes, "Come over here, and we're doing a tent revival scene that Ray Liotta was going to shoot." And so he puts me in the very front row. And we're sitting there, and everybody, we had some other actors with us, and we're sitting there waiting for, okay, what's going on? Ashley Judd comes and sits right next to me. Said she's going to be in this one scene with me. The cameras are like right on us. And I was like, wow, this is cool. And she was like the nicest person in the world. And she made me feel comfortable and everything. And we started talking. By the time you know, I was walking her dogs.
That night?
That night.
Okay. Oh.
I called her on the phone. I said, "Jennifer, so you don't believe this." I said, "I'm walking Ashley Judd's dogs."
Brian and I have summed up that he doesn't have a hard life, does he?
There's some angels that are making things happen for him.
Yeah.
But that was if I would have, if I wouldn't have listened to her at all, it would have never happened because it opened up doors with that agent, and I ended up getting another thing with Billy Ray Cyrus. There's a show called Still the King that was on CMT, and here you go again. I showed up. I was just an extra, and they had me in this one scene with Billy Ray Cyrus. I was in the car, and we got to talking and come to know that we had the same producer at one time. And so we just got to talking and everything. We became, kind of, good friends on the set. And then after that, it was like I was sitting there in one scene, and the director had come up and said Billy Ray wanted to talk to me, and I was like, okay, I don't know what this is about, So he said, yeah, he wants to talk to us. So I went back there, and he was asking me, what are you doing, and are you acting, doing everything else? I said, yeah, just doing stuff here. He says, well, I have an opportunity for you. Would you like to do this in this TV series? And I was like, well, what would I be doing? He said, oh, you just kind of be like a sidekick to me, You'd have a couple lines here and there, a couple lines there. They'll just throw you one here and there. And I did all that. I did a bunch of stuff on there. But when they showed the when they showed the TV series, there was some stuff that I wasn't in. I was very, very disappointed.
You were on the cutting block.
I was on the cutting block. I was
Now,
like,
you will
no.
see Bobby in one scene like this with Wayne Newton.
But that was another thing. I got to meet the great Wayne Newton. I was in a scene with Wayne Newton, so yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Did you bring
Fun
home an
times.
autograph for Jennifer?
Fun times, yeah. Oh yeah.
Be the envy of the neighborhood. Make your friends jealous. Be the first on your block to get official swag from Studio 23 Nashville, Pinkerton Productions, and Bryan Cumming. Just visit our store at the bottom of the page and order yours today.
Well, now we need to head into the actual studio of Studio 23 Nashville. That's where all the great picking is going on. Yes, Bryan and Bobby Marquez have another great song for us.
Bobby, I know some people are curious about your neon tan.
Yeah, that was a song that it was one of the first songs too that I wrote when I moved into Nashville. I wrote it it was probably like 2003, 2004 when I wrote the song, and I wrote it with two friends of mine, Gerald Smith and Donna DeSopo, who moved down here from New Jersey, and we were just trying to find a fun song, just trying to find something that because it's so hard to write a fast song. It's really, really hard. You can write ballads all day long, but it's very, very hard to write a fast song and a fun song. And so Gerald had walked in to the session and he said, I've got this title, Neon Tan. What do you think? And we all kind of looked at each other and we were like, this might be a good song. And so we ended up writing it that day. And man, I love the song. I think it's a great song. It's just a fun song. People can relate to it, out partying and on the beach,
Yeah, it sounds like a beach song.
Yeah.
You were
If
thinking
you kind of think like a Jimmy Buffett type style, that's what it kind of is. It's kind of that style.
Yeah.
And it's just a fun song. I love performing it live every time we play it.
It does have a good feel. Well, I think we're going to feel good playing it, too.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's do it.
All right.
1, 2, 3, 4. Came to the beach to have some fun and get away. It must be 103 in the shade. You can bake in the sun, but as for me, that bar on the beach is where I'll be. Yeah, I'll be working on my neon tan. If you're wondering where I am, holding a cold one in my hand, working on my neon tan. Yeah. I won't have to worry about those UV rays burning my skin and peeling for days and days. No sand in my pants, no oil on my skin. From the glow on my face, you'll know I've been. Yeah, I've been working on my neon tan. If you're wondering where I am, holding a cold one in my hand, working on my neon tan. Oh, while you're roasting, I'll be toasting 2-for-1 tequilas. While you're sweating, I'll be getting to know the senoritas and working on my neon tan. If you're wondering where I am, holding a cold one in my hand, working on my neon tan. Yeah, I'll be working on my neon tan. If you're wondering where I am, holding a cold one in my hand, working on my neon tan. With the tequila in my left hand, working on my neon tan.
Yeah. I like that kind of song. Just plays itself.
Straighten up and fly right.
Now available, Come Out Swingin', the new CD by the Bryan Cumming Jazz Quartet. Come Out Swingin' is available at Studio23Nashville.com and all major digital retailers.
Sing, come out swinging.
Come Out Swingin' by the Bryan Cumming Jazz Quartet. Get yours today.
Studio 23 Nashville. We are sitting here in our cozy living room. Bryan Cumming and myself and Bobby Marquez. Yeah. I hear you've been doing some good work, mister, for the kids.
You know, I started a thing that I do every year. It's a benefit for St. Jude because I've done a lot of other shows, you know, that I do every year for St. Jude, and I started this event in the hopes of raising money for the kids, you know, and having there was another outlet for some of the older stars and legends to have a place to play during CMA Music Festival, and so I kind of intertwined them both together, and it's been a great thing. We've been raising a lot of money. This will be my third annual. This year will be my third annual show this year. Yeah, so I'm very, very excited about it.
What's it called?
It's called Country with Heart.
Country with Heart, yeah. And what other shows do you do for St. Jude? A few of them a year?
Buck Creek Trail Ride we do. We did another one, the Cinco de Mayo. Yeah, so we've done a lot of stuff for St. Jude.
And I've seen you play in the rain out at the Country Music Marathon / Rock and Roll Marathon, which monies go to St. Jude.
I usually do about 4 or 5 a year. About 4 or 5 a year I do for St. Jude. Yeah.
Oh, those thousands of
we raise a
dollars
lot
are
of
going
money.
to a good place, so that is
Absolutely.
wonderful. Well, we've had a good time, haven't we?
Yes, and I'm really glad that Bobby's available to sing a few songs with us.
Yeah, definitely. Always some great picking with you and hanging out and having fun and singing along. We're going to have some more great stars coming up, somebody different each time, some more great stories, some more different music, and we'll keep Bryan on his toes.
More than 3 chords.
Yeah, that's right. On behalf
Stay
of Bryan
tuned.
Cumming, Jennifer Herron,
Herron.
even Bobby Marquez, our guest. Thanks for joining us
enjoyed
on
it.
Studio 23 Nashville. Be sure and check us out at Studio23Nashville.com.
Top 10 record for me, and it did help pay for the new bus.
All right.
What, you ready? You gonna play?
Yes, sir.
1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Oh, now wait a minute. The other reason why this song is important is because something you probably don't know. Do you know this? 65% of all of the country music records sold on the earth are sold out of Texas.
65%.
65%.
Whoa.
Yeah. So you want to be a hit in Texas. And the reason why, and you got to cut music that they can dance to down there.
And this is one of them.
This is why you can dance, not dance, Jennifer. You can dance to it.
Dance to it.
Buy you a long neck if you dance with me, kind of dancing music. So that's why it's a dancing song.
I'm ready for you.
1, 2, 3, 4, 1. My trembling hand reaches